Hey, gun people. California Highway Patrol, the CHP. Ooh, they got their own TV show. Well, they must be good. All right, so everyone knows I'll crack on these guys. The most unprofessional, hiring the most young, inexperienced kids. Just a horrible agency to put out has a standard for law enforcement. But anyway, got 7,000 cops throughout the state, run by the state. State's got money. They don't care. They're always paying out money because of what CHP does, but taxpayers don't have a clue. Anyway, so you are not allowed to ram a motorcycle unless deadly force is authorized. Ramming a motorcycle is considered deadly force because if you make a motorcycle crash and you hit it with a car, the likelihood of it crashing and the likelihood of the person being seriously bodily injury and or death, which is a definition of deadly force, is highly likely. Therefore, it is in every police policy, you will not ram motorcycles. You don't use spike strips on motorcycles for the same reason. You blow a tire on a motorcycle, you're likely to kill the guy. Unless deadly force is authorized, then you can. This guy was speeding. The CHP to CHP, that's their big felony. I mean, a speeding ticket is like they go home and rub one out. I mean, it's just, that's what they do. They love writing their speeding tickets. And they go back and the sergeant thinks they're a good job and they get a pat on the back and whoever writes the most gets promotion points. And their job is writing tickets, so they really look and take pleasure in ruining people's lives, raising insurance rates, and collecting taxes for the government. So in this case, a bunch of these bikers are sitting here on a ride, and the CHP runs by Chase's bike, and he actually rams the guy off the road and crashes him. Okay, so the siren's a clue. Why is this officer trying to pass this guy? He ran through a red light, which is also against policy, endangering lives. CHP is not supposed to go through a red light without first clearing it. Straight in the vehicle code, California vehicle code, you don't go blindly through red lights. You can't get a ticket for going a red light. You're exempt from getting a red light violation, but it doesn't say that you can madly run through red lights. And I see fire department and cops and CHP do it all the time. And, of course, government never enforces the rules on government. They only enforce it on the people they can find. And since they can't find government, there's no money in enforcing it on their own. So the Highway Patrol's committing multiple violations. It's against this policy. This happened on May 28th. Anybody that's got time and wants to do this, forward this video to the CHP, make a complaint. And, they do investigate when you make a complaint. They'll probably clear him, but at least you make them investigate it. So anyway, he ran a red light against policy, and he tried to overtake a motorcycle and cut him off, end up ramming the motorcycle because you're going to see damage on his car coming up. Okay, I just did a video on voluntary compliance where vehicles were spinning around in the roadway and people were just like, I don't care. Our laws are based on voluntary compliance. When the people decide to stop volunteering, comply as a mass, our system fails. This CHP is one lucky little chippy that he didn't get his butt beat and that he didn't get his gun taken away and shot in the head. Because these guys had the numbers, they had the time, they had the ability. He's just lucky they didn't want to do it. People underestimate the power in masses. Government cannot fight the people when all the people stick together. They just can't do it. They can bully you, they can scare you, they can divide you, they can make it so you won't ever get together. But if you get together, government can never win because government can never be bigger than the people they rule over and enslave and collect money from because then they can't support themselves. And if they get bigger, that's when it just fails. It doesn't work. So government always has to be a little smaller than the people they enslave. So government here is outnumbered. He's outmanned, And even though he has a gun, he ain't got a chance. If these guys all want to line up and drive by and kick him in the head as they're driving by, he's screwed. If they want to circle him and keep the cops out, he's screwed. If these bikers have enough, they can block the traffic. They can send 10 motorcycles down here and block this traffic so no backup can come in. And they can send 10 cops down this road and block that road. And they can put 10 cars behind him. If they got the numbers, you can isolate this guy, and he is at your mercy. Now, CHP seems to think that their little patch and their little badge gives them super power, and they have super protection, and they are the gods of California, and they can do anything, and nobody will ever question their authority, or you will face the wrath of them giving you a ticket. So this cop is extremely lucky.
You pushed him! You pushed him down! You dropped him down with your bike, and I have it on camera! You fucking hit him! What the fuck's wrong with you? That's where it's on!
Good evidence. Let's see how CHP can clear this guy. If he didn't hit the guy, why is there damage? You know what the officer's going to say? I got up next to him to make sure he saw me, and he rammed into me. He wasn't paying attention, and he hit me. And it'd be very hard from footage to show who hit who, and they would rule in favor of CHP. So, I mean, it's just BS when government isn't held accountable. This officer used deadly force on this guy. He could have killed him. He was wrong. He was dead wrong. He ought to be held accountable. He should be fired. When they don't hold people accountable for doing this, then other officers continue to do it, and there's no liability. There's no repercussions. So why should cops change their behavior? That's why you have to start holding cops personally liable for what they do. This cop should be screwed. He absolutely violated policy. He violated the California Vehicle Code. He violated the law. He did all kind of things, and you know what? He's going to walk because he's Mr. CHP, and they don't care because they're the state, and they'll just pay this guy some money with taxpayer money, and this cop will go out on the road continuing to do his ball-headed aggressiveness. So he's trying to fight them from standing up the motorcycle. They're trying to stand up the motorcycle. He's trying to stop them and control this guy. He's outnumbered. Some people would say, wow, man, he's pretty tough. He's bald. No, he's not. He's stupid. They don't have the common sense to understand when they're outnumbered and they're going to lose. They are so ego-driven about their CHP patch and their CHP badge, and, you know, they're programmed in the academy. Again, that's why the CHP will not hire regular cops. They only hire young kids who have not been in other police agencies. CHP never hires prior cops because they don't want thinking people. They want robots that want to be in the CHP and that are brainwashed into, we're the greatest, we're the best, and if you can get in, you do anything to get in, you do anything to stay in, you follow orders, you do whatever it is. We protect the governor, therefore we're special. We roll the whole state, therefore we're special. And they just program these guys, and they get this ego, super ego cop mentality, which is why they are just the worst. Most cops hate working with them because they come in, they act like immature idiots, they use force, they do shit, they're not accountable, and then they leave. They're all gunning their engines so he can't hear already. I think that's pretty funny. Rick, you shouldn't laugh. That's a poor law enforcement officer who was after a big mean speeder. Shut up, you big dummies.
Take pictures of all this shit, dude. All this shit, how he knocked him down. You pushed him down, now I have a video. I actually recorded it. It's on the thing. I caught it from there.
You think this cop has backup? You think he has time? You think if all these motorcycles wanted this guy, they couldn't take him? This is what you call, this cop's lucky. He got away with it. And unfortunately, in the CHP, when they get away with things, they think, and it reinforces their I'm special, I'm protected, nothing can hurt me mentality. It's a bad It's just bad all the way around. Besides what he used, he violated the law. He used his force. He could have killed this guy over a stupid speeding ticket. And again, the CHP, they just go blind. I mean, he's salivating right now that he's going to get to go back to the office where they got a box of donuts, and he'll get to have his ticket eaten, writing free donut for the day for writing a ticket and catching a big mean speeder. Just absolutely ridiculous. Ugh, that agency drove me nuts.
No, I recorded you.
All right, they end up leaving. They could have blocked the road. They could have surrounded him. They could have done a lot. He's lucky. That's his plate. Everybody call the CHP and file a complaint on this idiot. And we'll end that there.